All right. Now you should be able to hear me. One's in the chat if you can hear me. What is going on, people? So, who is ready to find out why Brian Koberger pled guilty? Fours in the chat if you're ready to see why Brian Koberger pled guilty while possibly not have committed the crime. Fours in the chat. I'm actually super impressed this is even working. If you guys could see my setup right now. Jesus Christ. Well, let's get to it then. Everyone wants to say Brian Koberger wouldn't plead guilty to a crime that he didn't commit. There's 4 life sentences. Before I explain why Brian Koberger took it, let me ask you a question. How many lives does Brian have? Because last time I checked, you only live once. Cat. Brian does not have 4 lives. Come on now, let's be serious. This is a very serious situation. YOLO. You are correct. You can only live once, right? So 4 life charges doesn't really mean anything. It could be 200 life charges. He's only going to live once. So it really doesn't matter. But the argument that people have are saying that Brian Koberger wouldn't plead guilty to a crime he didn't commit. It just doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do it, therefore Brian wouldn't do it. We have all heard the excuses. So, this is what we're going to do. On the cases of interest page, or whatever it's called now, we go down to March 26, 2025. Defendant's notice of filing affidavit ISO OBJ to the state's MIL REATT timing advance records. And you've all gone through this. I'm not going to read it all. We're just going to scroll down to the most important part. The reason why Brian Koberger is pleading guilty, and the reason why we don't know about it, is simply this. Per se, it rises to a level beyond a simple communication or oversight and is clear and intentional misrepresentation in the hopes to conceal a much larger issue. Now, what is that larger issue? I don't know. You guys probably don't know. Nobody knows. But until we know why and what the much larger issue is, we will never be able to even criticize Brian Koberger for taking that plea deal if he didn't commit the crime, right? This could be something huge. It could be nothing. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a much larger issue here that the state is trying to hide? Or that Brian Koberger simply just pled guilty because he did it? Now, how big could this issue be? I don't know. But one of the more popular theories since the beginning has been drug involvement. Sorry, YouTube, but I'm not sorry about what you think. But I talked to a lady from Moscow, and she told me that her child graduated the year before and knew they were dealing drugs out of that house. Can I prove it? No. Sorry, Jules, but I can't disprove it. So I'm just going along with what she said, right? Drugs were being dealt out of that house the year before. Maybe they stopped that year. Who knows? But if there is something larger to conceal, and MPD is funded by U of I, they're probably not going to go out of their way to investigate it or point it out to us. This could be even much larger than that. Who knows? One of the things that bothered me about this case from the beginning was the media coverage. And it seems like they did the same thing that they did in this case with like COVID, where they just swarmed the media coverage with the narrative that there's some incel killer on the loose. And then they found their incel killer. It's called pre-programming. Look into Hunter Biden laptop and look into when Elon bought X and had Matt Taibbi and stuff going through all of the Twitter files, right? The CIA, the FBI, all of these intelligence agencies literally control what the media can say. So who's to say that they're not doing it in this case? This could have some crazy intelligence agency involvement in the cover-up. We don't know. Right? So how can we say Brian Koberger shouldn't have pled guilty if he didn't do the crime because I wouldn't do it? Right? Also, Iran Contra. I'm not an expert. I'm not even going to go into explaining it super detailed, but it basically was some drug running ring that they used to fund all their black ops. And perhaps that's what's going on here, like in Idaho Contra. If you haven't heard of JJ in Operation GCD, he did a great live yesterday about an Idaho Contra. So go watch that. I would link it if I had it handy, but I don't. So the point is, we don't know why Brian Koberger pled guilty. We also don't have the information to criticize whether he should or should not have pled guilty because we're not in his shoes. What do you guys think in the chat? Agreed. Woke up. I was watching it right before I started getting set up to chat with you guys. But essentially, this is just going to be like a short live to explain it. Get us some contact information, Little Harok, because that would be fantastic to know about. I would love to hear more about that. No to a 12-hour drunken piss up. I can't really do that at the moment, but someday in the future, perhaps. With that being said, unless somebody has some questions for me, I will just leave this here, just short and sweet. And send everybody somewhere else. Wait, what? Don't go. When are you going live next? I don't know. But our homegirl Annie is up with Hella right now, so when we're done here, we're gonna go there. Ugh. All right, too fast. What do you say? Don't go. What do you want, too fast? I'm trying. I don't want to scare her off. She just left right after. She never wanted my mom just. Well, just do what you can. Get us some contact info. We don't need names, uh, anything like that. It doesn't have to be on the record. Sai had no reason to make such a bold statement without evidence. No reason to throw out his credibility for a random person. Exactly. Nothing. I just wanted to see if you would say, fuck you, too fast, you pretty motherfucker. All right. So I'm going to end it here. I'll probably end up on panel over there. Everybody head over to Hella's. Annie's up. And this live is being recorded. Oh no, don't record me. Don't record me. All right, I'll see you guys over there. Peace.